What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. I just want to focus in on the we'll finally had a playoff series preview. Sounds kind of weird. It seems like we just started the season yesterday, but first series preview for the 2016 Stanley Cup playoffs. The Detroit Red Wings and Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round. Obviously rematch of last year's series, and definitely. Real entertaining matchup between teams that play pretty good puck possession styles. Obviously, Steve Eisman came from Detroit. He played a little bit there. I don't know if y'all remember. So he's got his fingerprints all over this Tampa Bay team, and I think it's going to be a hell of a series. Obviously, no Steven Stamkos, no Anton Strawman for Tampa, but I like Tampa. I think as good as Detroit is, they had to come in down the stretch and keep their 25-year playoff streak alive, which is, I think, the second or third longest in NHL history. I think the Bruins had a 29-year streak at one point, and St. Louis had a really, really long streak. But you look at it from Detroit's perspective, it's great to keep a streak alive, but they're not just happy to be here. And these aren't your father's Detroit Red Wings either. I mean, they've got a good mix of young talent and an older nucleus. We know this is going to be the last ride for Pavel Datsyuk. You're looking at guys like Henrik Zetterberg and Nick Kronwall, they're going to need to show they still have something left in the tank, Kronwall especially. And then, you look at the Dylan Larkins of the world that have, really come on the scene and been, amazing all season. So, going to be a hell of a series. Goaltending for Detroit's going to be a question. Obviously, right now, it's like Jimmy Howard's going to be the starter, but, they start Mrazek. Are they better off starting Mrazek? And that's an argument you can make, but they relied on Howard down the stretch, so that's who they feel is their goal. It's going to get them the wins they need the most. So keep an eye on that situation as the series goes on. Tampa, much better situation in terms of goaltending. Ben Bishop, he's your number one, and if he falters, you have a great backup in Andrei Vasilevsky. So that's not at all a point of worry for the Lightning. But I think that the Stamkos and Strawman injuries, those are tough blows. I mean, if they were both healthy, I would say that Tampa takes this in 4. I'd say it could be a clean sweep for Tampa. Maybe Detroit gets a game in, but we'll see what happens. It's going to take a team effort from Tampa to go up against what Detroit's done, and Detroit does have, again, history on their side, and I got some pretty interesting pieces, but. Tampa having home ice, and home ice is kind of big. The crowds in Tampa they're good hockey crowds. They really are. Been down there for playoff games. They're amazing. So that's something to keep an eye on. Tampa went to the Stanley Cup final last year, so even outside of the big guns being out, there's experience there. And coaching matchup, I like John Cooper. I think Bosch is a great coach, but John Cooper's shown that he can get the best out of his players and do that consistently. So the coaching matchup goes to Tampa by a slight edge. Goaltending goes to Tampa. Forwards go to Detroit. I guess I'd call the defense a wash. I think Detroit's got a slightly deeper pool of defense, once again, especially with the Anton Strawman injury. But Tampa has Victor Hedman, a true undisputed number one defenseman, and Detroit really hasn't had one of those since Nick Lidstrom retired in 2012. So that's a wash. Again, goaltending. Tampa, Lightning in 7. That's my prediction. Tampa Bay Lightning will take a series of 7 games. Ben Bishop will have at least one shutout, and Tampa's young players, i.e. Nikita Kucherov, will have a big, And I think Jonathan Drouin, X Factor will watch. He's my X Factor in this series. If he's able to pull a Tyler Seguin in 2011, which I know everyone's making that comparison, so it's kind of a lazy comparison to make, they're in really, really good shape. So we'll see how it all shakes up down the stretch, but Tampa Bay in 7 games. Anyway, that's all I got in this episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the season and beyond. Later, guys.